said. It's just the engine fumes or something making my eyes water. Which was true enough. The scent of moist cooking oil, dirty water and gutted fish, horrible but somehow addictive, was for Alina evocative of rural Bangladesh. She turned her back on the river. "You really didn't have to come with me, you know," she told Mizan. The words were pointless, but it was a rite of passage to have the conversation, especially when there are no children needing to come to Dhaka. "I know. I like to come. I enjoyed this alone time we have." Mizan was taking out a packet of cigarettes from his trouser pocket and feeling for a lighter. Right. He had the grace to look shamefaced. "Okay. Also, I like to smoke. And where can I do this now you have banned it in the boundary, and my wife has done the same in our rooms?" He held up the hand with the lighter in it, mock surrender. "Yes, it is better for my health and a good example for the children." Then he looked at her, a hint of challenge. "Still, I like our time alone more." "So do I, Mizan, but..." Alina wouldn't bother to disagree. Their exchange was nothing more than harmless flirting, a nod to the past. Her smile faded as she remembered another, more distant past. "I found him, Ali, but..." "Alina?" "What? Sorry, I'm hot. I'm going to get changed." "Are you okay?" "Fine." She knew she sounded abrupt. She just wasn't sure she wanted to share the text message with Mizan. For all his machismo, he had a perceptive streak. Or maybe he simply knew her too well. Either way, was she ready to discuss it? "I will bring us tea," she heard him call as she disappeared into the small, stuffy cabin. Smoke wafted in through the open window on the other side, and she let it, a deterrent to mosquitoes at least. This was one of the oldest, slowest launches. No air conditioning, just a noisy fan with tangled, loose wires above each of the single beds. The obligatory, if old-fashioned, television set high on a shelf. There was a suspect blanket on a chair and a hairy cake of soap in the attached, unplumbed bathroom. Alina wasn't complaining. It was a square of private space. She only had to go down to the open deck where whole families spread across the ground for the overnight sailing to be grateful. And years back, on one of her earliest visits, she'd come face to face with the biggest homemade rat trap she'd ever imagined. And by the morning, it had been filled with the biggest, angriest rat she'd ever seen. This was luxury. Darkness came suddenly over the Bay of Bengal. In the few minutes it took Alina to step out of her yellow and orange salwar kameez and into loose-fitting jeans and a muted long-sleeve top, the sun had become a mirror to the water. She left her long dark hair loose and, winding her orna back around her shoulders, opened the door back to the deck. Mizan was sitting on one of those battered plastic chairs, his bare feet up on the boat rail. His silhouette stood out against the lengthening shadows, and beyond him, across the water, Alina saw yet again the inspiration for the Bangladeshi flag. The red sun sinking below the green horizon. Mizan was holding his phone aloft. "Signal is gone. We are in no man's land for 8 hours minimum." He must have heard the creak of the door behind him. Time suspended. A faint whiff of the forbidden, of possibility hung in the air. Oh, nostalgia had a lot to answer for. But Alina felt some of her tension ease. Mizan was right. They were uncontactable for tonight. "You're the queen of compartmentalising," she told herself. "Enjoy the journey. Worry about Finn and what he's found when you get home." "Do you know if Takdir got the children home all right?" A retired district commissioner her great-uncle might be, but he was the first to point out that staff under him unquestioningly followed orders. 12 overexcited children, all but 2 of them deaf, were less biddable. Alina set